can't do this. I'm not YouTuber.
Okay, yay, so now we're going to do the details. People might ask if there are rules to how geisha do their makeup, but in general, there aren't rules so much as preferences. So some people have their own preference about how much red they like to use, how much black they like to use. Generally though, the more red you use, the younger of a face you're trying to make. So older geisha who are still wearing white makeup will tend to use more black and less red. But again, it's all about preference. I like to start with eyebrows. So you can do usually either a wet eyebrow or a powder eyebrow. I prefer the look of a wet eyebrow with a little bit of powder over it to set it, so that's what I'm going to do for Angie. So I like to use actually Chocolate's Professional Stage makeup. I'm going to use an angled brush. Geisha eyebrows are generally supposed to be yanagi no mayu, which means willow brows, so you want them to be kind of thin and delicate, and there's no arch. It's very sort of a half moon shape.
Work your magic.
Which actually your eyebrows are kind of naturally a half moon shape. I'm going to take the red powder, which is again Chocolate brand. So I just like to take the powder and sort of set the base, and then also you can kind of soften the edges using the powder, because above all else you kind of want them to be soft. And then after I set it, I like to take a flat brush. I think this is an eyeshadow brush. Yes, this is an eyeshadow brush. And I use a little bit of my white powder that I use on top of the wet base, and I'm going to sort of just fix the edge of the eyebrow if I have any red that's gotten out of place. And I'm also, personally I like the look, so I use the white powder to kind of draw the inner corner of the eyebrow down next to the nose, which is a little bit more kabuki inspired of a look, but now we just do the same for the other one. Eyebrows are done.
Eyebrows are done.
Now we're going to do the red makeup around the eye. Again, this is a preference thing. Some like to use the Japanese kuchibeni, so some will use the same product that they use for their lips. Some like to use only powder, some like to use cream type makeup. I actually, the same for the eyebrows, I like to use a mixture of cream and powder to sort of get a really deep red but also soften the edges. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm using the other end of the eyebrow brush that I was using the angled brush. On the other end I've just got kind of a really small detail brush.
I don't know.
And the amount of red and the shape of the red is again a little bit flexible, but traditionally the red part of this type of Japanese makeup comes out very circularly. You don't see a wing or an angle like you kind of see with Western cat eye eyeliner. So start here in the corner. And you want to bring it in to sort of halfway down the eye. And then on the outside, we're going to make a circle shape. It goes out and up a little bit. Open your eye. And then we are going to bring that shape down under the bottom lash line. Okay, and then I'm going to go on top of it with powder. And then if you want to, it's just personal preference, you can also put a little bit of red on the inside of the eye. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the same on the other side. Okay. Yeah.
Good?
Yeah. Give me.
Take 2. So now that my legs have recovered, let's continue this.
Okay, so next we're going to do mascara. And I've always used just sort of my regular favorite brand of mascara. So this is sort of just a Japanese drugstore mascara. And depending on the texture of your eyelashes, you might have a lot of white base makeup that's sticking to them, and you might find that it's easier to sort of wipe that off with a tissue. And she doesn't have too much white makeup sticking to her eyelashes, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply this right over the top. And I'm actually going to do some on the top of the eyelashes and then on the bottom of the eyelashes to make sure that we cover up as much of the white as we can. And then I also do a little bit on the bottom lashes. That's, I think, not traditional, so it's kind of optional. Okay. Now I'm just going to repeat on the other side. So next we are going to do the eyeliner. And the eyeliner, again, is sort of personal preference. Some will draw a really, really thick black eyeliner. Some do a more thin eyeliner. You also do a little bit of a wing on the end, but it's not so much of an upward wing like you see in Western makeup. It's more, I want to say a downward wing, but you kind of go a little bit more straight out.
Following the
Follow the natural line of the eye. So.
Plan change.
Plan change. Now we're going to use liquid eyeliner. Again, personal preference, but if you'd like to, you can continue the eyeliner line all the way down the inner corner and kind of elongate the inner corner of the eye as well. So next, and this step is another big step that depends on personal preference, is actually this pink. So some people will use a cream like this and apply the pink as a base under the white. But depending on your skin type, that affects how the white wears with time. Sometimes that makes it kind of flake off. So you can apply the pink as a base, or you can just use a blush, a regular blush that you like, and pinken it up on top of it. So actually, I prefer to use, this is a little bit of a red, a sparkly red. It's actually eyeshadow, but I like the color a lot over the top of this. And the pink kind of goes around the eyes and on the inside of the nose. And then above the eyes as well. But you don't want it to be too pink. A geisha mother might say that you look a little bit like a monkey's rear end if you have too much pink. So. And then last but not least, we are going to do lips. And we're going to use the traditional Japanese beni. So this is Shiseido brand beni, and it looks kind of like this. It comes in a little rod shape, I guess, a little bit of a brick. It's dry, and then you mix it with water to apply it. This is another type that's really popular now. This is a cream type. This one is Mitsuyoshi brand Tsubaki #1. But today we're going to use, yes, the traditional beni. So I'm going to wet my lip brush and just kind of get the beni mixed up. Much like the wet base, you don't want it to be too wet when you apply it, or else you're going to have it kind of dripping and running everywhere. And so Japanese beauty traditionally prizes big eyes and small lips. So when you're doing the makeup, that's kind of what you want to think about, is making eyes look big and making lips look as small as possible. So one of the ways to make your lips look smaller is you're going to only paint inside of the borders of your lips. You're not going to go all the way to the natural edge of your lip. Right now in Western makeup, overlining your lips, making them look really big, is really popular, but this is the opposite. You want to underline your lips and make them look very small and kind of rounded and cute. So I like to actually use the two front teeth as guidelines when I'm painting this. So I'll usually start at the edge of both of the two front teeth because it's much easier to start small and go bigger rather than to go too big. You can't really fix it if you do that. So I'll use those two front teeth as a guideline and kind of draw from one edge to the other edge and then fill it in and kind of make sure it's very soft and round. You don't want anything to be pointy. People often say that Geisha or Maiko's lips look like doll's lips, and that's true, but you don't want them to look unnaturally shaped. You still want them to look cute, but a natural shape. So don't draw them too like Betty Boop, really round, cartoony lips. And then for the top, usually press your lips together like this. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a template, because now you can see kind of where the bottom lip shape is, and we can use that to sort of match up the top proportionally. So I'm gonna use that mark, fill in down here, and then what I'm actually going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and draw the bow of the lip. So I'm just going to use her natural Cupid's bow. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. So you can see her lips are definitely drawn within the boundaries, but they still have kind of a natural shape. They're not like super high Cupid's bow that's like very rounded looking. Yeah, and so you just want to let the Benny dry. You can see when it's dry and it gets dry to the touch. It kind of doesn't come off or anything like that. But you definitely don't want to like rub your lips together or anything like that. And like I said, since it's water-based, you might find that drinking and eating will take it off. So in that case, you just take your lip brush, go in the bathroom, touch it up a little bit, something like that. But yeah, so your face is done.
Oh,
yay!
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We're going to put on katsura, and so this is a traditional Japanese wig styled in takashimada, which is style that geisha wear. Now hold it right here, under the side. I'm gonna grasp it, and then I'm going to go from the back towards the front. And the wig is designed to flex inside, so oh my god, wow. The wig is designed to flex inside, so it's okay if you move it when you're kind of flex the pieces when you're putting it on. And then, yeah, once you put it on, in Tokyo Geisha secure their wig with hirauchi. Some use tamakanzashi, but this is type of hirauchi, so we're going to put it in, and what we're going to do is put it under the wig net through her natural hair and then out the other side of the wig again. So that's going to add extra security so that the wig doesn't move around too much. It's made for everyone's size, so it shouldn't be moving too much anyway if it's the correct size, but this gives a little extra security. So it should go kind of below the base of the mage here. So I'm going to put it, tell me if I hurt you.
No, it's good.
It should be secure, but it shouldn't like rip your scalp off.
No.
So in her hair, and then as you can see, out the other side. Turn your head this way a little. You see it's coming out the other side. So it's kind of holding everything in place on the back.
So
we're going to put kushi kanzashi between the maegami and the mage.
I can't move.
So I'm gonna pinch and lift right here in the maegami, and I'm going to slide the kushi in pretty securely, and it should be at an angle. This is not correct. This is not correct. It should be angled forward as much as possible. Some geisha use maezashi, which means a kanzashi in the front right here, like Maiko wear in Kyoto. Some choose to use them, some don't. Kind of a matter of personal preference. There are two places that you can put your maezashi. You can put it so you see right here, so it's truly a maezashi, so it's very much in the front. And if you have a bira kanzashi, one of the kanzashi that has sort of hanging pieces, that will have to go in the front so that the bira can hang. But more mature geisha will generally choose to put maezashi back here towards the kushi. So either side is okay. Let me turn your head that way a little bit. Side the other way.
Awesome.
So it's actually back here closer to the kushi rather than sticking out in the front. Depends upon age, preference of individual geisha house, and lots of other things like that. But you pretty much can't go wrong if you put it there, so that'll give you a more mature look. That's it, you're done. As you can see, this wig sticks out a little bit in the forehead right here. That's just because it wasn't made custom to fit your head. That's kind of, you can, if you have a problem like that, you can experiment and try to fix it by using something like this. Is just a hair rat, and you kind of make them in different shapes, and before you put the wig on, you can use a U-pin or any other type of pin like this. You can kind of experiment sticking it on different parts of your head, and what that'll do is it'll pull the wig back or push it forward to try and fill up this empty space. So if you have a wig and you're having problems with it fitting around the face, you can use this sort of thing to try and make it fit better. So yeah, you're done.
Thank you so much.
You're ready to go.
It's really heavy and so weird. It's like
you look pretty. It's hard to move, right?
yeah. How did you do that?
Takes some getting used to for sure. Oh, you're so pretty.
I'll hug you so much.